Hello, I'm Dr. Helen PENSANTI, and welcome to Doctor, where medical conversation meets everyday understanding for you and your health. Today, we're going to be discussing a condition that affects millions of families around the world, Alzheimer's. It's more than just memory loss. It's a condition that touches every part of a person's life, as well as those who love them. To help us navigate this complex topic, I'm honored to be joined by Dr. Bryn Henderson, a physician with deep expertise in innovative care solutions. He's here to shed light on what Alzheimer's really is, how we can recognize it early, and more importantly, what are the new treatments that are coming up that may reverse or stop it? Dr. Henderson, thank you for being here. Let's start at the beginning. What exactly is Alzheimer's disease?
Well, thank you for having me. Alzheimer's disease is a condition where the brain slowly breaks down over time. It usually starts with memory, but as it progresses, it affects thinking, behavior, and even the ability to do simple daily tasks. What's happening in the brain is a buildup of abnormal proteins. This is called amyloid plaques and tau tangles that damage and kill brain cells.
So how is it different from just getting forgetful and having a little memory loss because you got older?
That's a great question. As we age, it's normal to forget your name and sometimes misplace your keys. But Alzheimer's is different. It causes progressive memory loss that interferes with your daily life. What's worse is the patient themselves may not realize anything is wrong. That's why the people around them, their family, caregivers, and those that love them, are often the first to notice the signs. The approach in Alzheimer's should never focus on the patient alone. It's a family-centered disorder, and the diagnosis, treatment, and support all need to involve those who live with and care for the patient.
How do doctors know when someone has Alzheimer's, as I said, versus just memory loss?
Good question. We use a mix of brain scans, lab tests, and memory exams. There are special scans that show the buildup of amyloid plaques. We also test spinal fluids or blood for proteins linked to Alzheimer's.
All right. I've got to stop you right there. What is that scan? Because people are wanting to know, can I get it? Because I want to know if I'm starting to have amyloid plaques. I can hear the people out there all of a sudden going, what? Wait, there's a test?
There are tests, and that scan is called an amyloid PET scan that reveals the buildup of those plaques, which is a hallmark of Alzheimer's.
I'm sure the insurance doesn't cover it, but what's the price if it has a parent or an aunt or an uncle that, and they're saying, hey, I want to know ahead of time, can I pay for and have this test done so I know what I'm facing in the future?
Generally, these cost between $3,000 and $5,000 without insurance. But most insurances will pay for it if their process of evaluation is sequential and it makes sense.
Okay, well, that's good news. All right, so now you're saying the test about spinal fluid for proteins. What are you looking under a microscope? What do? You pull out the spinal fluid. Where do you send it?
The spinal fluid is sent to the lab and you are looking for proteins. And what you want to know is if there's any specific proteins. The presence of plaques are not the only thing you're looking for in the spinal fluid. The lab's looking for tau proteins, and there's ratios. There's ratios between cerebral spinal fluid specimens. There's not just one test we use series.
Okay. All right. That is absolutely fascinating for me. And I'm sure that our listeners are also getting excited about being proactive. I mean, I would want to know if I was destined to have Alzheimer's, to prepare. One of the things my mother always said to me is, I don't want to be a burden to my children.
Amen. I agree with you.
So let's go on and talk about other helpful tools that understand cognitive patterns and how you tailor support for each person.
It is fascinating when you go into a personalized approach because exactly what you do depends upon what we find. Brain function is one of the first things that starts to decline, even before the deposition of many of these major areas of plaque and tau particles. So often we can get in there and see patterns. And if you see the patterns, you can use peptides like cerebrolysin and acetylcholine to support that brain regeneration and improve cognitive function. And those therapies, if they're started early, can be complemented by intravenous therapies that target brain health. These treatments have worked extremely well in our office. It improves clarity, memory, and overall brain performance. The earlier you start, the more success you have. The sooner you treat, the better results you're going to have.
All right. So we know that there are stages of Alzheimer's. You mentioned that, but let's review them.
Okay. It starts with a stage where the people feel normal, but their brain already shows changes. Then comes mild cognitive impairment. This is when memory problems begin, but people can still live independently. Independence is a big deal here.
Yeah.
After that, we see different levels of dementia, early, moderate, and severe, where people at the most severe, they need full-time care. They can't be alone.
All right. We've talked about what causes someone to develop Alzheimer's, but let's review it again, the causes.
Okay, so there isn't a single cause. Aging is the biggest risk, but genetics play a strong role. And there are also lifestyle risks, high blood pressure, diabetes, lack of exercise, smoking at all, and even chronic stress. Stress is a bugaboo. Interestingly, new research shows that brain development before birth and gut health in early life may also play a role.
All right. So can Alzheimer's run in families?
Yes, especially the early onset type, which can affect people as young as their 30s or 40s. Can you believe that?
I do. I know someone whose father got it at 50.
So that's usually linked to the genetic mutations, where there's a new type of DNA in that cell. But even late onset Alzheimer's, which is more common, can have family links if someone carries the APOE gene.
All right, and they can test that APOE gene pretty simply with these DNA things. Or you're saying a blood test?
Yep.
Simple blood test? You can order it?
Yes,
A doctor can order it right in his office?
I do order commonly.
All right.
And then you can get into what medicines at what stage. But regardless, the sooner you learn what you have, you can manage the symptoms, help with the memory and the thinking, and you can titrate, individualize these medicines. These newer medications aim to remove the amyloid plaques from the brain. And again, the peptides like cerebrolysin, acetylcholine, and IV therapies for brain health can be very powerful additions to the treatment plan, and they support the brain cell health, enhance the body's ability to repair itself, and often we see great results. And when we combine them with other therapies, like most regenerative therapy, we can add things, acupuncture, even gene editing is being studied right now.
Okay, so for me, like I would prefer coming in and having an IV of a peptide or an anti-inflammatory of the brain rather than go on some synthetic drug. What do you say?
Oh, there's no question there's alternatives that are better and far fewer complications. Studies show that acupuncture, in fact, can improve memory and reduce brain inflammation. It works by stimulating the specific points on the body that improve circulation to the brain. And everything heals directly proportional to the circulation. Calm the mind, regulate the neurotransmitters. It's often used alongside traditional medicines.
All right, let's go to advanced treatments. Your regenerative therapy, that's your hallmark of your office.
Yeah, that's had very promising results. It can help regenerate damaged brain cells. It reduces inflammation. Gene therapy itself is another exciting area. Scientists are already using that to switch on and off genes that are extremely protective. Those tools, one of them being CRISPR, CRISPR, is extremely effective and already has helped sickle cell disease and asthmatics and many serious.
Let's talk about that CRISPR, because a lot of people don't know about it. I read once it was something like when you're typing and you have spell check. Is that a way of explaining it?
That's a good example because what it does is it edits the DNA. There's a segment of DNA that contains, let's say, repetitions, and they're involved in this disease. Where you can get in there and modify those so that you can change the sequence of the DNA and its associated protein.
Do you have to go to a special tier hospital to have that done?
You have to go to special people. They got to have a lot of training in this era,
Uh-huh.
but very soon, it won't be 10 years, it'll be common.
It'd be common, yay. All right. So how do you follow up with someone who has Alzheimer's? I mean, obviously they go into a memory care home because they can't
Yeah.
care for themselves.
It's a very interesting question because we don't follow up with them. We follow up with their family and everybody that has contact with them. And it's checked regularly. And it's not every few months. Oftentimes we put in calls on a weekly basis until we think we have it under somewhat of an improving course. Now we don't just watch it. We improve it and we track the memory tests, the behavior changes. You can see changes in their physical health because they're able to do more. That caregiver is key because he or she is going to tell us what they're able to do in terms of skills. As the disease progresses, we can reverse much of it. We may need to adjust the medicines to do that, but it's important to monitor that because we can vary the therapy as they get better and better.
Dr. Henderson, before we close, let's do our famous mnemonic that you have put together for all of the pathologies that you deal with on a daily basis right in your own clinic.
This simple tool is called Memories, MEMORIES, and it helps guides our therapy right in the office.
All right, let's go over it. M stands for
Medication, and as prescribed, the cholinesterase inhibitors or whatever it is with the symptoms, take them consistently.
E.
Establish routines. Daily structure reduces anxiety and confusion.
M.
Mental stimulation, games, music, puzzles, all support cognitive function.
O.
Organize the environment. Use labels, safety tools, and calendars for orientation.
R.
Regular physical activity. Gentle exercise improves circulation and mood.
I.
Involved in social connection. Social activity slows the decline, boosts emotional health, and restores hope.
E.
Eat brain healthy foods. Mediterranean or DASH diets support memory and vascular health.
S.
Support for caregivers, not just patients. Caregivers need help too.
All right, so all of this stuff offers structure, reassurance, and tools. One of the things that I see in my practice is a lot of times the family doesn't want to give up the Alzheimer's patient. They want to keep mom or dad in the home, but then they end up needing help because they're overwhelmed. When do you talk to this family and say, this patient, this loved one of yours needs to be in an age-appropriate care home?
What we do is we include the family and friends. So it's not usually a one-on-one or even a one-on-two or three. It's common for us to have 3 or 4 people in the conversation because it is very difficult to ask somebody to leave their home. So what we often do is we coordinate it so that they understand the criteria first as to how to leave the home. It's like taking somebody's driver's license.
Yeah.
You're going to do that one? Not without a fight, right?
Right.
Okay, because that is reflective of independence.
Right.
And where most of these people are, that is a signature of life.
Yeah.
If you can't drive, you're toast. Or if you can't
Especially in
live
California.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
imagine. So there is a huge facet here to do doing this with dignity.
All right.
So I really agree with you.
Well, Alzheimer's may be a difficult journey, but with knowledge, support, compassion, all of us can help our loved ones walk through it with dignity and hope. If you're noticing memory changes in yourself or a loved one, do not ignore the signs. Talk to a doctor. Remember, early steps can make a real difference. If you would like to see Dr. Bryn Henderson in person, I encourage you to call 714-639-4013. His office is at 615 East Chapman Avenue in Orange, California. That's in Orange County, California. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, go to my website, www.askdrhelen.com. That's www.askdrhelen.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Helen PENSANTI. This is Doctor to Doctor, where real doctors share innovative information to bring hope to you for your health. Join us next time. Bye for now.